my name is Neha Barma and I'm a speech language pathologist. Today I have a fun activity with something that we all probably have in our household. They are fun and colorful blocks. And as you can see, my little plate has primary colors on it. So I have blue blocks, yellow blocks, red blocks, and green. I would encourage you to first teach your child primary colors, red, blue, green, yellow, before you move on to secondary colors, pink, purple, orange, black, gray, brown. Those would be a little bit harder for young kiddos. But as they move on, they make progress and are able to identify those primary colors, I would encourage you at that time to start introducing those secondary colors as well. So a good activity to teach kiddos primary colors and teach them to identify and label colors would be really to get on the floor with them and play with blocks. And as you are putting blocks and sorting them into piles, I would encourage you to label the color. So for example, I'm gonna have my blue block. So blue, red, green, yellow. And moving on, I would keep doing the same. Blue, red, green. And at this point, once you have kind of done and demonstrated a little bit of that, I would encourage you to invite your child into the activity and then tell your child, can you find mommy a yellow block? And see if they look for it. For example, if your child finds the yellow block, I want you to give positive reinforcement, which basically just means encouraging them, praising them. Yay, good job. You found a yellow block. You matched your blocks. Let's say your child did not do that and instead of putting a red block, put a green block on it. Uh-oh. That does not match. You put a green block with the red block. And at this point, I would encourage you to either move the block by yourself as your child is watching, or encourage them to take the green block off and put it with all of the green. And then encourage them and praise them and say, yay, you found the green blocks. This is a fun way to teach kiddos colors. I do want you guys to understand that kids are going to identify or point to a color before they actually label it. What do I mean by that? If you tell your child, where is the green block? They're probably going to be able to find that before you ask them, what color is it? And they say green. So again, focusing a little bit on that importance that your receptive language, your understanding of language, the ability to point to would grow faster and earlier than your ability to use language. Only if you understand that this is a yellow block tower will you be able to say yellow. Another activity that we can always do with blocks, and I know a lot of parents do this with their children already, is counting. But when we teach our children to count, honestly, a lot of times I've seen parents teaching your child to rote count. What do I mean by rote count? Basically, going from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10. But does your child really know what that means? Does he know that 1 means 1 block or 1 crayon? A lot of times kiddos don't know that. And that's when I would encourage you to teach counting by object to object counting. And what is a simple way to do that? So let's say I'm teaching them with my blocks or I'm playing with my blocks. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go on if you have to beyond that number as well. And I would encourage you at this point, as you are counting and you are putting the blocks in a spot and counting the number, to invite your child and help them through this as well. Have them touch the block as they're counting so they understand that 1 meaning 1 block, 2 meaning 2 blocks. Another activity that can always be done, and this would be something that would be helpful for my 2.5 to 3.5-year-olds, would be to teach the concept of one and all. So what do I mean by that? As you're playing with the activity, tell your child, can you give mommy 1 block? And see if your child gives you a block. And moving on, if they can't do that, I would say, can you give mommy all the blocks? Now this might be a little bit difficult for a child to be able to give all the blocks. At this point, what I would really do is encourage you to model that behavior for your child. So basically, tell your child, oh look, mommy is going to give you 1 block, and give it to your child. And then say, mommy is going to give you all her blocks, and give your child all the blocks. So, you know, sure, kids at this age, sometimes those 2 and 3-year-olds don't want to give you all of the toys and all of the things that they have handy, but at least they are learning. As they grow a little bit older, for kids, you know, older than 3.5, 4.5, 5-year-olds, it can always be, give me 1 block, can you give me 3 blocks, and for them to find 3, and moving on that way, where you're really specifying the number of the blocks that you need from them. Now, another activity that can be done with blocks is another concept, which is big and little. So here I have a big block. I have a little block. So really focusing on blocks being bigger in size and then blocks being little in size. Can we put all the big blocks together? So 1, 2, 3, 4, again counting them, or you could go blue, blue, red, blue, labeling the color, or you could just go big block, big block. Here's my pile of all the big blocks, and here are my little blocks. Look, I have all the little bitty ones here, and I have the big ones here. So this would really teach that concept of big and little. Now, another concept that can be taught with blocks, and it's a lot of fun for kiddos, is to build really tall towers. So I'm gonna make a tower. It's gonna be really, really tall. And you know, with blocks, and they're so colorful that it's almost very inviting for kids to play that. I made a tall tower, and I'm going to make a short tower. So teaching them that concept of things being tall and things being short. Again, you can do it in a variety of different ways. You could have a tall tower of all green blocks and a short tower of green blocks, or you could just do colorful blocks and make them tall and short. I would just encourage you that if you are teaching a concept like big and little or tall and short, kind of focus on that versus the color, because I don't want it to be very confusing for little children. So if you're making towers, just keep building those towers away and don't worry about those colors at that point in time. I know another thing that kids love to do, and this is something that my son loves to do as well, is make towers and then make them crash and make a sound with that. So really teaching them, you know, sound, and to be able to say boom, crash when all of those towers, those blocks on those towers fall down and they crash. So this was just another fun activity for kiddos to do with simple things that we might find in the house, colorful blocks. And for my kiddos, you know, 4 and older, 4, 5, 6-year-olds, there can be some math skills that you can do with blocks as well. And I'm excited to bring a lesson on that as well. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy your activity and play around with blocks and your kiddo. Take care, guys.